Hi, come sit with me and let's talk for a bit. I think this is kind of like a continuation of the last conversation we had about deciding between being a faceless or a faced content creator. And if you haven't watched that video yet, it should be somewhere right above this one. You should definitely check it out after this. So, that video was more about the life before content creation. It talked about the delays, it talked about overthinking, it talked about the external and the internal battles. It also talked about trying to figure out the kind of content creator you even want to become online. But this particular conversation is leaning more towards what happens after you finally decide to create. The part of content creation that most people never really see. So we're talking before the fancy setups, before the expensive microphones, before the clean 4K cameras, before the smooth production and the aesthetic videos that you guys love to watch. There is usually a creator out there trying their absolute best to make one small piece of content work. And honestly, I do not think people realize how physically and mentally demanding content creation can actually be sometimes. Because as viewers, we only see the final results. We see the clean thumbnails, we see the calm voiceovers, the smooth editing. And then the power is in our hands to decide, does this deserve a like? Should I subscribe? Should I keep watching? And things like that. But what we usually do not see is everything happening behind the scenes. Do you know how far some creators go just to produce those videos you binge watch so casually? Some creators record under their blankets just to reduce echo. Guilty. Some stay awake till 2 a.m. because this is the only time their environment is finally quiet enough to record. Still guilty. Some literally have to study their surroundings to learn when certain movement stops or when neighbors are finally asleep, just so they can get one clean voice recording. At some point, I personally had to learn the exact time that the police patrol sirens pass my estate at night, because once the sirens start blaring, my recording session is completely over. And night was honestly the best time for me to record. So imagine finally getting into the flow of your voiceover after I've done multiple takes, only for sirens to suddenly start screaming outside. Guys, at this point, I lost it. Like, I started questioning my life choices. I started thinking, am I not supposed to be sleeping at this point? Like, what am I doing awake? Why am I fighting sirens at midnight because of YouTube? As much as it was frustrating, it was also hilarious. And honestly, these are some of the things that creators deal with behind the scenes. The repeated takes, the editing fatigue, the frustration, everything compiled together. But somehow, creators still wake up the next day and try again, just to give people a better experience. And don't even get me started on the social part of being a creator. When somebody asks you, casually, so what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm a content creator. Do you believe that there are still people with very dismissive reactions when they hear, oh, I'm a content creator? It's given, oh, so you just make videos. as if content creation is just picking up your phone, pressing the record, and posting immediately you're done. If only it were that easy. They forget about the editing part, they forget about the mental work, the emotional energy. Honestly, yeah, after entering this world myself, I genuinely respect creators so much more now. I genuinely even respect video editors so much more because this content creation thing, it is hard work. Guys, it is real work. Not just creative work, mental, emotional, everything put together. Even posting the content itself is work sometimes. Because after everything, you're still sitting there wondering, is this good enough? Will my channel grow? Sincerely, yeah. To everybody that intentionally watches creators or engage in any kind of way, even if you're quietly supporting from a distance, trust me, creators appreciate you more than you even realize. Because you could literally be doing something else with your time. Yet you still chose to experience something a complete stranger created. And that means something to us. Like, genuinely, it does. So please, if you're on these streets of YouTube and you see a content creator whose content you genuinely enjoy or connect with, please give them one small like, even if it's one. Because trust me, they are really trying. And here we are. I guess this is all I wanted to say tonight. And maybe this is just another part of becoming a creator that people do not talk about enough. Let's talk again in the next conversation. Bye, everyone.